Thanks for joining. This is Movado, and I'm here in Empyrion Galactic, Reforged Eden, sitting here in my Moab space station. Back today with another helpful how-to video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about autominer networks, how to set up your autominers, what planets I like to target, and how I can quickly service them to get resources fast but not spend hours a day cruising through the galaxy touching each autominer to get it refueled up with fuel so I can keep mining some resources. So here I am in the Moab space station. I'm going to hop into my teleporter. But before I go, one thing to keep in mind that I always bring with me is a small stack of fuel cells. The reason why is because if you ever teleport to a auto miner hub where you'll see me going here shortly, if it doesn't have power because it's the middle of the night or the planet doesn't generate enough solar power, you can just drop one of these fuel cells into that base and teleport out of there. They're super cheap to make, and by only using one of these small ones, it kind of saves you a lot of resources. But let me hop on this teleporter right here and we will get started. I'm just waiting for my shields to deactivate. And here we go. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the teleport network, one of the things I'd recommend doing is across the top, get used to your filters. These are super helpful up here. First thing to do is look at a base, because I'm going to a base. If you want to find a CV, an SV, an HV. Bookmarks can be helpful. Terrain placeables are, I think, auto miners might show up in that list, I believe. Auto miners show up in one of these, I think. Otherwise, you'll find things like probably your portable constructor in there. And then resources will show up in here as well. And then this right side, private, which is personally owned, faction, which is anyone in your faction, and then the other, which is going to be any NPC or enemy owned buildings. So I'm going to deselect both of those because I'm looking for buildings of my own. That you can see cleaned up the list quite a bit. This is where I'm based out of. I actually do have a couple titanium ones here. Let me go to that system first really quick. So titanium is one I don't typically auto mine. I did run out of titanium this system, so I did jump onto this planet and set up a little bit of a network here. Let's see how this worked. There's been a teleport glitch, and I'm not really sure what's going on since... how do I get out of here now? There we go. Alright. There's a teleport glitch where it keeps putting me inside the base. This is new to 1.8. Thanks, Elion. I guess it is what it is. So, alright, well, here I am in my teleport base. This is my auto miner, what do I call it? Auto miner teleport hub, I think it's called. Auto miner teleport hub. This little guy, you'll find it on the workshop. Just very simple. It's got a teleporter, a 320k controller, which is plenty to store ore, as well as hydra cells. It's got a ton of solar panels out there. You can see out here there's all these solar panels, and I have them stacked up double thick, so I've got actually all 24 out here, along with some sentry guns in case there's any random guys that come wandering out. So the way this works is you teleport to one base, come out here, link, shift and left click sends it over here, and then you can simply walk up to this thing. It's almost out. Shift left click to fill it, drag this into your connected toolbar, come here, disconnect, send your stuff back, and off to the next one. One teleporter, one auto miner serviced, and you can keep doing this over and over. In total, yeah, and it's going to put me inside the base again. All right, there we go. Let me do that again. In total, I have about 40 total auto miners set up with 40 bases. I can service all of them in about 15 minutes. So 15 minutes a day. You can see how quick that is. Disconnect, shift click back, and these already have power from the solar panel, so I don't even have to use fuel here. Alright, we saw enough titanium. This is one planet actually. Let me show you what planet I'm on. This is a snow planet. So this is a snow planet. Titanium, or I guess that's a medium. So a couple titaniums. These are all closely grouped. I got 1, 2, 3 of them right here on the snow planet. All right, let's move on to I'll show you this planet. So this one, Neodymium, this is going to be some type of probably an arid planet. And then I'll get to some of the other ones where I have multiple resources on them. I generally don't put one one resource on one planet. All right, where'd I go? Oh, geez, did I get deeper in the space now? Yeah, that's this is kind of weird. I'm not sure what's going on with this whole teleport bug. Okay, so Neodymium, this planet, I've got it on a arid planet. And where I set these, as you can see, I've got one up here, one right here, one right here. I got three, I think they're medium-sized neodymium deposits. Same thing, you just come up, you link, drop some fuel in your inventory, hit up the little guy, recharge it, pull it into your connected toolbar, and if you unlink, it pulls the ore back up, and you're good to go. Got a couple Neos there. All right, let's move on to the next planet. Here I've got 11. Let's jump to a Pentaxid. This is going to be a barren planet. Barrens are one of my favorite. It's always a go-to. Pretty much in every playthrough I do, I always hit a barren planet, and I'd recommend you do the same. The reason why is obviously the Pentaxid. Oh. Alright, and now we'll see if I can even... There, okay. Now here I don't have power, so I'm going to manage right click, left click. So by right clicking, it only picks up one, or picks up half the stack. By right clicking again, it only drops one into the base. Come to this door, drop that in, pull that out, and I always do the shift click 2 times because the first time it uses all but one, it fills all but one, because it uses one to get started. Okay, what else do I have here? So pentaxid, silicon, and sathium. So lots of pentaxid, silicon, sathium. If you look at the map, I love medium-sized barren planets. These are my favorite. In fact, on this planet, I even have some medium pentaxid deposits. 2 medium pentaxid. That is that one. I think I have 2 medium pentaxid deposits on this planet somewhere. Sathium usually finds some good sized ones. Yeah, there's the other one. But this is kind of what I have set up here. So this is a really good planet I'd recommend checking out if you set up auto miners. I got 11 of them there. Okay, on to the next one. Let's go to Magnesium. This is a hell planet. This is one I'm going to have to be careful of. So I'm going to spawn in and immediately probably get roasted right here, because I'm going to be inside the base. And maybe I'll even run into one of those teleport glitches during this video, and I'll show you how to handle that. Yep, I am getting... Okay. Close that back up. Why am I getting... Alright. Let's get that powered. I was getting hit there. Oh, yep. And see, this is where those little sentry guns are so helpful. You don't need miniguns. In fact, I think miniguns are kind of a waste on a base like this because they're so expensive CPU-wise, and those sentry guns are really all you need. I can put 16 sentry guns on here for like 8,000 CPU. One minigun is more than that, so that's why I use them. Okay, here's Magnesium. Here's a hell planet. Just like the other planets, what I have it set up is the Magnesium down here, Promethium. I think I even have more Magnesium. Yeah, Magnesium, and a couple more Magnesium down here. And then up top, I've got some Promethium, Zascosium, and Zascosium. So this is really, hell planets are also another recommended go-to. Look at all these resources I have here. You can simply hop from one to the next. Couple seconds per, do this whole planet in like 2 minutes, and you got 11 of them refilled. Okay, on to the next one. And in fact, this one isn't a planet, this is actually a moon. Moons can be a great source of aluminum or aluminium if you're from the other side of the pond. Also, you'll see on this one I have cobalt on it, but aluminum is typically what I go to moons for. It's the best place, in my opinion, to find the spot to auto mine them. So here we are on the moon, in the base. Let me get out of there again. Put that block back. And do the same thing. It is nighttime here. I am out of power. Actually, it just lit up. That's fine. But again, you pull this over. Actually, I'm out of fuel. One thing I like to do, I didn't mention earlier, is all these auto miner bases, I tend to drop about 200 hydra cells in them. 200 hydra cells, that'll last you about a week. I'll just get that going. Doesn't really matter. And I'll generally come back and make a loop every week. So then, after I get these all topped off, I would go through, do them all. I'd come back with a big cargo vessel and collect all the resources. Nice thing about having these bases is they all have some a wireless extender in them, so you can reach them from a distance. The final planet that I always recommend going to, this is an alien planet. This is where you're going to get your Erestrum. You can see some copper. There was another Pentax deposit that was really, really close. But alien planets are another one that I'll tend to go to. So the three that I mentioned, it's the Barren, it's the Hell planet, and it's the alien planet. Those three might be my go-to. Others out there might have other ones that you like to go to, but those are definitely my three go-tos. And once I get here, I'm going to do one more jump to show you the last thing that I do to really top off and make sure I never run out of any resources or fuel, which is how do you get all those hydra cells made? Because these are some thirsty machines. So as soon as we get teleported, we'll get here on this alien planet, and then we'll get on to the hydra cells. Well, it's showing 100%, so I don't think we're locked right now. Typically when it locks, it goes to a blue Empyrion loading screen, not this one. Although at this point I think I'm locked up. I think this is the old teleport failed. So one thing I always recommend doing is if you ever get a teleport fail, don't wait too long. Although I'm really worried that happened on this screen, that I think I'm going to have an issue. But if you wait too long, it tends to cause an issue versus if you just crash the game immediately, which I'm going to do here. It tends to not be as bad. So I'm going to pause the video really quick, crash the game, reload it up, rejoin the server, and I'll resume when I'm loading back into the game. Alright, I am back. Hopefully I'm not left in a precarious stranded position when I get there. Alien planet, yeah, so hopefully I'm in the base and not about to get my face eaten. I am really inside this base. You know what? I am going to relog and see if I can respawn in a better spot than inside that block. That's the other thing I've noticed is I was in the right spot. I was on the alien planet, but sometimes if you crash the game, especially if you do it right away like that, you'll end up inside a block in the base. It's different than the teleport bug, the other one where I had to remove a block. This one you'll just straight up be inside of a block, and there we go. That works. Here I am, alien planet. Pentaxid, Erestrum, couple more Erestrum over here, another Erestrum, and then a copper. So again, whenever I try to set them, I try to set them in a nice arc or a nice path. Looks like the base is out of fuel, although the guns were working, so I think they might work without power, which is interesting. Okay. Alright, the last one I was going to show you, again, I'm going to apply my filters since I rebooted, is, I think it's here, hydrogen, water, oxygen. Key essentials to life. This is how you really sustain the fuel. You've got to set multiple on Promethium in order to keep the fuel going for these, as well as fuel all your ships, your bases, etc. The other half of that is getting those bottles. So you kind of have two options. Now in Reforged Eden, you can actually get a lot of water from the dense ice mining that you can now do. Alright, let me see if I can... There we go. You can actually get a lot of water from the dense ice mining in Reforged Eden now. Obviously, that's not an option if you play vanilla. But here I am. Here's my teleport base. What I do in this one is I actually put a lot of fuel here. Like you can see 1,600 hydro cells. I connect to the wireless network. Actually, let me connect to this one. Drop those in my bar down here. And then what I do is I come out here. And I just run to each one. I've got about 30 set up here. 30 of these hydrogen extractors, 2 oxygen, 2 water. That's honestly plenty. You don't need more than that. These bottles are key though. Shift left click, click, drag it down. Actually, a lot of times what I do is I just leave the water in here, the hydrogen bottles, and I just refill them. So you just shift left click and you go through and you do all of these. You can do all 30 of these in about a minute flat. Get a couple oxygens if you want, but honestly I have so much O2 and water I don't need them. Those are good for starting out, but after the first, little bit of gameplay, you don't really need them. So anyway, you don't need to see me go through all those. You get the idea. I've got about 30 of those there. So this is how I set up my auto miner network. One thing to point out is I don't do this every day. I don't do this twice a day. Do it as you need it. You don't have to go through and do this all the time, because if you do this, let's say once a day for a week, you're going to have enough resources to carry you over for quite a while, especially once you get set up and going with multiple resources of different types. So that's how I do it. That's how I set up my auto miner teleport network. Get a nice variety across all the different planets. Load up with resources that are close to each other, and then don't forget your water. Again, the AutoMiner Teleport Hub can be found on my Steam Workshop. I will post a link to it here. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for joining and hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone.